Hey everybody, my name is Hazen Fields II.
I'm Trey. And
I'm Daryn Curry.
What? Daryn Curry? What's going on? What happened to...
where's Lex?
Where's Lexington?
I'm taking over for today.
What you do to him? Oh my goodness. Unbelievable. Wait a minute. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a very big deal. First of all, let's say Various Fields. You're watching
Various Fields.
And this is the very first time ever that my youngest son, his brother, Lexington Malcolm Fields, who is away, that he couldn't be here today, but he is the first time that we'll ever see him on the show. He's not here. And we have a wonderful young lady who will be sitting in this, that he literally has big shoes to fill. I mean, he's got like a size 30. Anyway. But he's got big shoes. But Daryn Curry. Let's hear it for her. Make some noise. All right. Before we get into it, I'm gonna let you open up, and I want to talk a little bit to Daryn. But you know,
Absolutely. Well, today's guest is a wonderful author by name of Gabrielle Basile. She has written 2 wonderful books, which we had a chance to read. Very impactful messages within both. And that help with transitional periods in people's times of hardship, to say the least. And I'll let them explain more about the subject matter as we go on forward. But Daryn, what are you doing here?
Yeah.
And how did you get in that chair?
Yeah. Who are you, and how do we know you?
Well, I met Hayes and Lex when I was working at Skinny Pancake when I was 19. And they ordered, I dropped out the food, and Hayes was the one who started the conversation and came over and was like, have you ever been painted before?
Have you ever been
That was the one question you had.
Oh,
you seem like you had the personality or the vibe to be painted. I was like, okay.
I'm assuming, you being a model, not like you're a wall or
Yes,
something.
yeah.
Okay. All right.
And then after that, we just related on anything and everything possible, and they kept coming back to Skinny Pancake.
You had an ensemble upon you that was like very much like a caricature, but you were just living it live.
It's very bright colors.
Well, listen, we're very glad to have you here. However, you are not the focus of today.
No.
You're just a wonderful addition, and we're so happy to have you. But today's focus, ladies and gentlemen, is our great friend, Gabrielle Basile.
Hello, everybody, and thank you for having me.
All right, well, thank you so much. All I can say, ladies and gentlemen, is wow. I got a chance to read her book. We all got a chance to take a peek at her book. And why don't you tell everybody the title of the book? So, go on.
So my first book is called Silent Cries of a Military Wife, and I wrote that back in 2018.
Mm-hmm. And we're also going to touch on your children's book.
Yes, that is Heart of a Champion, Julian's story.
All right. So both of these books we got a chance to do. I couldn't put down The Silent Cries of a Military Wife. I was trying to, before we do our conversations, on camera, we try to not talk a lot, but I think I broke that rule because I was so engaged. This is a story of her life and a great deal of the challenges that she went through as a military wife. However, it reads like a novel in such a way that you're gripped by, and I don't think I've always read autobiographies that's like a narrative, but this is like a story,
That is true. Yeah.
So it's like, villains are in it, people, you start to see it, but so it was like, I was conflicted because I enjoyed reading it, but at the same time, recognizing that it was, a great deal of challenges and or tragedies that you dealt with. So tell us about the process of writing the book, and maybe give a little synopsis for everybody.
And a little bit of who you are to write said book.
Okay, so when I started writing, I was dealing with abuse, and I found that my closet was my safe space. So I would actually hide because my husband at the time, currently my ex-husband, he always found an issue with everything I did. And I was just kind of like, I was scared. So I started journaling because it was the only time I felt free. And it was sad that I had to do this in a closet, but I was like, this is like this is for me like a free space where I can just write down. I didn't want to forget what I had been through, so I said, let me just start writing it down. And then that's what I started doing. And every time there was an issue of abuse or something was going on, I just wrote it down. And then a little bit about myself, as an author, I'm a mother. I just want to get my stories out there because I want people to know that when you're going through something, there are times where you will be silent, but eventually you are going to move away from that situation. And then with my son's story, just how amazing of a child he is and what he went through. And I just kind of want to help other parents, and for kids that are in grade school, like going to the doctors is very important.
Wow. Well, in reading the story, it takes us through your life, even beginning before high school. You start from you actually talk about how you were born and what you were born into, and it was amazing that you captured a scene of all the things that you dealt with growing up in your home. And then when you get to 18, it talks about that time of meeting your first love. And so I wanted to find out how did that when you were writing it, how were you able to draw? Because you didn't, you wrote this a little bit later. How were you able to draw so clearly that which happened, sometime before?
I feel like my life, how do I put this? I feel like it's always been like a tragedy. I hate to say it like that. But like my childhood is something that kind of shaped me, and it formed me into the person that I was because I was accepting things that I grew up seeing. And I had to paint that picture in order for you to see why I stayed in my situation. You had to know, okay, I grew up the way that I grew up, and it definitely affected me. So.
Yeah, I mean, this is, like I said, ladies and gentlemen, if you get a chance, we'll tell you where to find the book or whatever. And if you have any questions, it doesn't have to necessarily be about the book or being an author in general. Anybody else have any questions? Because I got plenty.
I have a question. I know this may seem an obvious question with most artists, but when you wrote your book, before you published it, did you let your family know, or did you publish it and they read it, and that was their first time hearing of it?
I published it and then they read it. I mean, I did tell certain people because I said I'm still going to put it out regardless because I want to be able to help other people. I don't want people to be like, well, is this like a true story? Did somebody really go through this? No, I went through this, and I want to tell my story. And it didn't just start from being a military wife. It started at a younger age too. Yes. So I just wanted to put that out there. Not everybody was happy when they read it, but I was like, hey, this is my story, and I want to tell my story.
Yeah, I like that at the end of the book, you show actual letters from friends and family, I would imagine, that kind of gave testimony to that this is really what happened.
Yeah.
So I thought that was really innovative in the sense of, so people won't say because it reads so much like, did this happen?
Yeah.
And then she has testimonials in it, so I thought that was very good.
Yeah.
And in fact, how is your son?
Oh, he's doing really, really good. Very good.
Now, how old is he, if you don't mind?
He just turned 16.
Happy belated, by the way. You were July 1st, right?
Yes.
That's right.
Awesome.
Happy birthday. Yeah, that's fantastic. Wow. So now, did you always have a desire to write a book before the situation? Which came first, your desire to write, or did the situation make you become a writer?
The situation made me become a writer because I did not have a desire to write. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I didn't know what I was good at. So imagine always being told that you're not good at anything. And then it's like, I'm probably not going to be good at this either because I don't feel like the person that I'm with thinks that I'm good at anything that I do. So I just was like, I'm going to write, and hopefully it's good and people not like it based off of I'm speaking about abuse, but I hope people can feel me when they read it.
Absolutely. And you already had those chops kind of in the beginning. I was reading as the process kind of grew in you, starting with a little bit of the poetry to the letters that you wrote to your family, right? And then seeing that evolve over time was just really, it's inspirational to say the least, right? But just to understand, like, you can start literally from anywhere, right? Without necessarily having the proper educations or the degrees or whatever the case may be that people often lean on to say, oh, I've written for Harvard or whatever the case may be. It really is more of a invocation of spirit that you kind of want to express to other people, and I very much appreciated that.
Yeah,
Thank you.
that's it. Yeah, there's a phrasing in the church. People say, "You don't look like your testimony."
Right.
You know,
right.
it seems as though you were telling us that you're about to receive your master's.
Yes.
That's a man. Let's give her a hand right there. That's
Yeah.
fantastic. And we applaud that because with all of the things that you endured, you were able to find who you were. And in fact, the book, we were talking about, leaves almost a cliffhanger. There's almost like a part 2 that I'm, ready to read. And so we applaud you on that. So tell me the difference between the Gabrielle in the book and the Gabrielle now.
Oh, that's a good one. The Gabrielle in the book, I was not confident. I allowed things to happen to me. I had some of the worst people in my life, and the Gabrielle now is very confident. She loves herself. Every morning when I wake up, I just remind myself, you are good, you are loved, good things will happen for you. And I pray over my child because I also want him to put that energy out into the world. So I just remind myself every day that you are a good person, and everything that you want in your life is going to happen for you.
That's it, man. Wow, I know that this subject matter sometimes can be tough in a room like this because but at the same time, it's something like watching the inner workings of a butterfly coming out of a chrysalis. Is a chrysalis or is it a cocoon? One of the two. I forget which one. But in any case, but seeing that process of a rebirth is astounding to me because based upon what we read in the book, there may be people out there that are enduring, and it seemed like in the book there were times where you equivocated, you tried to apologize for the situation. You stayed in the situation, but you gave a reason for it, for over and over and over again. And there may be some people that are in that position. What would you tell people that are in a similar situation? Because you got out later. How would you tell them to view their situation?
Yeah. So if you are in a similar situation like I was, I always say it's easier said than done because I didn't have the financial means to just up and leave. I had to find a job because I had a child. I don't come from a family that is rich. So, and I don't want anybody to have to help me to the point of where now they're struggling. So I had to figure out everything. So first, figure it out, what you're going to do. I mapped out a plan because I needed to know what I had to do, not just for myself, but there's a child that's involved. And even if you stay in a situation longer than you would like, and I get it, it's really hard, just keep reminding yourself that there is light at the end of the tunnel. I had to keep saying that. You're going to be okay. So just remind yourself that you can get through this.
Any other, because man, I'll keep on talking.
Another question I have, even now, after becoming who you are now, do you ever still have just a small thought of what could have been if you were adopted? Or if your sister never found that letter?
I haven't, now that I'm sitting here, I'm thinking about it. But then I didn't. When I found out, I guess I could say I could think about it. Well, I didn't think about it then, but now if I'm thinking about it, I wouldn't change my family. I don't like a lot of the things that I've been through, but I would never change my family. I'm very thankful that I was found. I'm happy that I have the mother that I have. And she's been very supportive, more so now in my life. You know, we've had our differences, but she's a great mother, and I have some good siblings, so.
Yeah. I loved in the book that, I don't know, I guess they're not characters, they're real people, but I loved their character development.
Yeah.
Over
Yes.
time, from like when you first started the book in the chapter 1, how they weren't that supportive, and especially later on, like after the incident with the dad and your dad and your niece, or your cousin,
Yeah.
her niece. I love that over time she became more in your corner, and she became the one person who was in your corner, especially after your uncle, which also very sorry about that. Yeah.
Yes.
I love that she became a lot more in your corner, and I love that because I love my mom and she's always been in my corner. So I love that connection that built over time.
Thank you. You got me ready to cry.
I'm sorry.
Greg, not to. Oh gosh.
You know, but it also brings to mind a question for me, is that, you know, the book gives the world an insight to who you are. Where in the book you talk about times where you want to insulate yourself, to isolate yourself because of not being able to trust the people around you. So now I feel like when I see you, I'm like, this is the lady in the book. You know, and I know so much about you. So how does it feel when you feel that when people are in a room with you now, they feel you know, at least for me, I feel like I know so much about you. You know, when in contrast, before you didn't want to have people. So how does that feel? How do you deal with that?
I can say this, being in the room with you guys, I've never felt more comfortable around a group of people. There's just a very good aura. I said that to her out there. But like I feel at peace, and I don't know how to describe that. Whereas I've been in rooms where people do know my story and they don't know how to approach me. And I do have trust issues. And I've been in rooms where I'm reading the room and I'm like, do I like the feel of this?
Right.
Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. But yeah, I don't know what you guys are doing, but I just feel so peaceful.
The only hesitancy I have in asking you questions is the fact that I want people to have the chance to read the book to themselves and experience emotions directly, as opposed to us giving away so much, right? Because like you said, like it was the first time I had to do a handshake. I'm like, oh yeah, we've known each other all this time,
Right,
you know? It's like, what's
exactly,
going on? Right? But I think the only other question, because we've had a conversation like this in one of our earlier episodes, is like, when do you know? And I guess it's different for everybody. When do you know to give up on an individual? Right, because when it comes down to family members and people in your corner who are not, who always seem to do a 180 or a 360 or a 720 or whatever the case may be, as times go on, right? But when do you know, no, this is enough for me?
My heart just wasn't in it anymore. And it's like you can love a person, and I knew that, I mean, I felt like I was loved, but I'm like, you're abusing me, so this doesn't feel right. It got to the point where I was like, I just can't do this. But once there's children involved, you just got to get out of there. I don't want my son taking in things that he watched me go through. So at that point, I was just like, I have to get out of here. My son was the most important thing, and I'm like, he's going to grow up and he's going to act like that, and I don't want that.
Yeah. Again, I find, you know, so once again, we're talking with our guests here, Gabrielle Basile. I'm so sorry. I'm being silly, not being able to pronounce. But we're just excited to have her here with Silent Cries of a Military Wife. Find it, get it on Amazon.
On Amazon, yes.
And in various places. Please look it up. We'll put down something in the description so you can get to it. And I don't know how I feel, because again, my conflict in talking about it, this book has everything. And in my spirit, I want to go, this is a great book, but it's like, it's your life. So I don't know how to like approach it, because there's a certain amount of like, you know, I'm so sorry I have to go through. But then I promise you in the book, there's action, there is a character development.
There's definitely villains.
There's mysteries.
And then there's Harold. We won't, if you don't know
And Jane.
Jane and Brianna. And, you know, Yeah, Jane. Yeah, Jane is like, it's crazy because if you meet Jane, and I'm assuming these are names that you've put to the people that because if you meet Jane, you want to
Definitely go.
Yeah.
So much just
Right.
I felt
The
so much
audacity
pain.
of it all.
Yeah.
I'm
I was
telling you.
angry reading it. As
I know.
Like, each other on your friend. I was like, oh, if I was there.
And we felt like we could see it coming. It was like almost don't trust her, don't trust her, But it's like it's crazy because it's like this is your life.
Yeah.
So I don't know. So how would you like people to approach you about that? Because it's like on one level I'm like this is the greatest, But the other hand, it's like should I tone down my level of I don't want to say enthusiasm or whatever.
Never tone down.
But you understand what I'm saying, Everybody agree. You understand what I'm saying? It's like because it was amazing. It was amazing, and but you lived it, and in certain areas, I guess you can see you're still living it.
Yeah.
Because I imagine there's still healing to be done.
I think you're gonna always be in the healing process. There's gonna be things that are gonna remind you of what you've been through, and for me, I'm co-parenting with my abuser. And I'm thankful that he has apologized, and he tells me all the time, losing me was his biggest mistake. And now it's like you are with someone that's abusing you. So imagine that. And I become his therapist. So I'm like, do you register that every time you call me and I have to help you with something, that it triggers me? Because I have to keep reliving over and over and over again everything that you've done to me, but I'm giving you help to get through your situation.
I think you should be on the cover of Forgiveness magazine because this is that I almost
Merriam-Webster needs a new definition.
Yeah, I know, right? And now you're making me feel bad because it's like I want to dislike the person that's like, oh gosh, if she can be the therapist this guy is, but yeah. So let me ask you a question. The title of the book is Silent Cries of a Military Wife. Do you think, is there any responsibility that you put on the military in itself? I'm sorry, military. The training and or lack of training, whatever it is. Do you think that did something to make the person who he was to some degree?
I think it was in him naturally. I think that he was that way before he even joined the military. But I think when you are a man in uniform, you feel, not to say untouchable, but like he just felt like everybody could see him and would like him way more. And he just was uncontrollable at that point. It was just like the cheating and the abuse, and he just didn't stop.
Again, if we're prying, please, what's his response to the writing of the book? Has he read it or does he know about it? Or?
He does. I feel a little shady for how I went about it. I put the book together, but remember, I was not really in the best financial space, so he ended up paying for it, but not knowing what it was about. Because, we put our money together, but I was like, this is kind of like your karma, in a sense. Like, you don't do that to people, and I just wanted people to know, like, hey, you don't have to deal with this, but it was kind of like my get back. I was like, I'm leaving, but you're going to pay for this book.
Okay, all right. Did that mean...
See, I can be a little mean.
I think he owes you more than a book.
Yeah, indeed. So seeing himself characterized with, did he
He was not happy.
Yeah, did he get an insight to that? In other words, because in your situation, it seems as though he never got it. He never truly listened.
Yeah, I don't think the book helped him listen. I think his situation is what really helped him, and it made him register, hey, I was not good to you. He's been apologizing to me for years, but an apology can only go but so far.
Yeah.
I feel like, hey, I had to live that, and now you're treating somebody who's treating you bad. Like, you're treating them good, but you're being treated bad, so.
Well, I'll tell you, we're both husbands. I've been a husband now for 38 years.
Oh, congratulations.
And how many years have you?
I'm going on my fourth right now.
Fourth year.
Awesome. Congratulations.
There is, unfortunately, I'd say unfortunately, or the reality of it, as a man reading this book, you sometimes see some of things that you should do more of,
Right.
and stuff like that. So what are takeaways that you would like for any married couple to get from your book?
Learn to work together, communicate. Not every day is going to be a good day. If there are issues that are arising, sometimes one person needs to walk out. But I always say this, and this is something that I wish I would have did more in my marriage. Well, it was never good, so I can't say we was gonna ever do it. But at the end of every day, even if you guys have an argument, make sure that you make up, because you don't want to start the next day with that energy.
Yeah. Oh, I appreciate that. Yeah, that's good. Anything else here? Because we have another book to talk about in a couple of minutes. But this is an amazing bit of writing. I've never been drawn in and taken on such a journey,
I guess the only other question I have in this moment, a little bit of an between two wonderful works that we're talking about, is have you continued your poetry? Because a lot of your poetry in the book itself has moved me.
Oh, thank you.
You're very welcome.
So I actually did write a poem. I don't want to say who it's someone in my life that is no longer in my life. And I sent it out, and it's being nationally looked at. So hopefully it does something, and it might get put in a magazine. So I'm what was it? I think 50,000 people entered, and only 3,000 people were picked, and I was one of them.
Wonderful.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
so hopefully.
He talked about the poetry being in the book. I thought that was a wonderful, like an aside. You would read the story, and then you would give your inner thoughts while giving your inner thoughts. The poetry within the book was just like, just a brilliant maneuver. And I mean maneuver, not that it was calculated in that sense, but for a writing standpoint, I thought it was really captivating.
Thank you.
So, Man, oh man.
I have one last question.
Okay.
With having a book that is based off of your life, do you ever, because it piggybacks off of the previous question of how people, we feel like we kind of know you. Do people ever come up to you and make assumptions about you? Because technically they just know your story, but they don't know you as a person because they never met you. They never experienced you. They only experienced a past version of you from your story. Do you ever have people come up to you almost like assuming that they just know everything about you from right now, or like who you are?
I do have people, when they come up to me, they ask me if I'm still married because of how the book ended. But also...
Guilty.
Yeah. You did ask. But that's one of the big questions, because there isn't another book yet. So people will ask me if I'm still married, because basically they want to know if I'm still being abused.
Yeah.
But they're doing it, and that I think you did it because of how the book ended,
yes.
which I liked. But when other people come to me, they're coming to me basically wanting to know if I'm still being abused.
That's heavy. That's heavy. That's I don't know if and I guess every writer has their ability to show their fortitude by being so forthcoming. And that takes a lot. That takes a lot of courage, and we thank you for showing that courage. But but that's not the only book she's written.
Oh, very true.
Ladies and gentlemen, this young lady here has, I'm going to try to do what, in fact, maybe you know what's about to happen here. And you say, we're going to try to do what Lexington and Trey sometimes do. Let's see. The fortitude of a human being shows how strong they are in their attitudes and their opinions. And we here at Various Fields hope that you have strong attitudes and opinions about Various Fields. So remember to like, share, subscribe, and hit all the buttons. Wait a minute. Daryn. Wait a minute, that was...
Now, to be fair, you started the segues
Yeah.
way back when. But so like, like I was actually going to use the nationally reviewed aspect. To say like, hey, if you want to have her voice and our voice be shared in nationally viewed, please
Like, share, subscribe, hit all the buttons. Wait a minute,
There we go.
we
See,
gotta get...
that's a segue.
Okay, that's a better segue, you're right. But still, we gotta get Daryn in there. Like, share, subscribe, hit all the buttons. Okay, we gotta do it in time, ready? On the count of 3, here we go. 1, 2, 3. Like, share, subscribe, and hit all the buttons. There you go. Now that's the co-host chair right there.
Don't worry, you'll get one of your own.
And also, please don't forget to go to www.variousfields.com and you can leave, I keep on calling it audio messages. What
Just drop a voicemail.
Voicemail. I don't know all the fancy terms. So your voicemail and let us know if you want to see more of these types of programming. And soon, you'll be having an opportunity to get some Various Fields merch.
Yes.
We got some T-shirts and there's an image out there.
You got T-shirts?
We'll talk about the image. But anyway, but you can get merch as well as an opportunity to become a Various Fields sower. You see what we did there? Fields, sowing in the fields, a sower in the fields. If you want to be a sower in the Various Fields field, we'll be giving very soon opportunities to do that. And even if it was $1, $2, if you like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Any sign of financial appreciation would help this program to continue to do what it's doing. And that's coming soon. And I thank you for being here. Now, we do have another book.
That's right.
Another book. I mean, I say it strong like that because how many of you have? I haven't written a book.
No.
I've always.
I almost said I have neither.
You said you almost have.
Wait a minute.
Hold on a second.
I was going with the flow.
I've always thought if I was to write a book about my family, it was going to be called Fried Chicken and Grits on Sunday, because every Sunday my mother made that for us before we went to church. But that's all I got. I appreciate it. Thank you so much very much for the title of my unwritten book. But you've written a second book. So tell us the title of that book and we'll talk about it a little bit.
So that is Heart of a Champion, Julian's story.
All right. So we read this, and this is I say a children's book,
yes.
but it's not little children. But what would you say? What age range would you?
I guess I'm gonna say like grade school. So I'm gonna do maybe 4th to like high school, like 12.
Yeah. It's for any child.
Yeah.
It's for any child.
For any adult.
Anybody, because the story is compelling in and of itself. But I think it's a wonderful story. If you're a parent of small children, I think it's a great story for them to read to you in terms of dealing with pushing through and being strong. So tell us a little bit about Julian's story.
Right. So my son was scheduled for a sports physical, and I had a dream, and it was just weird. I dreamed the night before, and something just told me he should not get the sports physical at school. So I called his doctor's office, which I already tried to call, and they said that they hadn't had any appointments, and that was a week before. They had a cancellation, and it was at the exact same time as the sports physical, which was at 3:30. So I went over to the school, picked my son up, and we headed to the doctor's. And when we got there, he has an older doctor. He did the checkup, and he heard something in my son's heart when he was listening. But he said, my ears might be bad, so let me have somebody else come in. So I was like, I'm over here questioning, like, the ears are bad. Yeah. But he got another doctor in, and she said, I hear it. It's faint. It's like I don't really hear it too much, but there's something there. So he said, we're going to send him to a cardiologist. So a week later, after harassing them, I got my son in at the cardiologist, and they did an EKG, and we went back into the room, and the doctor was like, we need to do a CAT scan. And I was like, why? And he's like, well, I see something, but I don't want to tell you what I see. And I'm like, well, you should never tell somebody.
Right.
You know. So my son was anxious, so he's like, I'm going to get out of the room. I don't want to hear this. So
Now, excuse me. Now, how old was your son at
he
this
was
time?
15.
Okay, go
So
on.
it was just last year.
Okay, go on.
So that doctor put in a referral for a CAT scan, and then we went and he did the CAT scan. But because I was so aggressive with the office, he said, good or bad, I'm calling you as soon as we get the results back. So I'm thinking it's going to take a couple days before we get the results. So I dropped my son off to track practice, and I'm heading home, and the phone rings, and I'm like, oh gosh, it's the doctor. So my nerves are bad because I'm like, this could be good or bad. And he goes, hey, where are you? And where's your son? I said, I just dropped him off at track practice. He said, I need you to turn around and get your son. And I'm like, is everything okay? And he was like, is he currently running? I said, yes. He said he could have a sudden death incident. And I'm like he could die. So I drove over the sidewalk. I almost hit some people, but I got to the school quick. And then that was the last time he ran. And we ended up at Boston Children's Hospital because the surgeon here said he's only performed the surgery once. My son has had a left coronary artery abnormality, and that's where the artery is attached on the wrong part of your heart.
Wow.
Oh, goodness.
So, yeah, and he's one of our top athletes. He is a good runner. So,
The book, the way it opens up, it speaks of his love of running and him being a champion in that, and having something that you love doing being challenged. I'm going to use that word because I'm certain he's found ways to compensate in some form, but when that's taken away, that can be overwhelming. I would imagine. So, talk to me about the adjustment to getting that news for your son, if you don't mind. Is that all right?
yeah, that's fine. He didn't take it well at all, naturally. But I will say this. My son was the strongest person for everybody in our family. He never cried throughout this whole process. I was crying, his father was crying, my mom would cry. It was just kind of like, we were all very emotional, and my son was keeping us together. The first time my son cried was we got to Boston, and we had a group of people with us. We had friends, we had my family, other parents came, and when we walked down the hallway and he looked back, and I'm trying not to cry, he started crying because he said, Mom, if I don't make it, just know I love you. So it makes me sad because you just don't want your child to be so sorry.
No, it's okay. No, you're fine.
Ooh, I'm trying not to cry.
No, you're fine.
But that was one of the
ready.
hardest moments because you want your kid to be okay.
Of course.
And he didn't know if he was going to be okay.
Thank you so much. No, we are, listen,
Sorry.
we got some tissues coming here. We do apologize.
I'm sorry. I didn't even want to cry.
Oh, no, you're
Try not
please,
to.
as well. Listen, this, it speaks to the power of your ability to share in the midst of again, I use the word challenging, it's so much stronger than that, and your unselfishness, because indeed we believe that there are other parents that are receiving news that is similar, in some form or fashion, and for you to share how your son particularly was able to be made of stronger stuff to, although be the focus of the situation, also being the glue to keep the family strong, is amazing for other parents to hear, because your son, in one way, being 15, he's able to vocalize what he's going through. But there's some children out there who are younger, 3, 4, 5 years old, or whatever, who may not have the same capability.
Yeah.
So I believe parents that are dealing with those kind of things they have the ability to look at your situation and then apply it to their child and see that there's that children are sometimes made of stronger stuff.
Yeah.
You know, and
I agree with that.
You know, and I can't, you know, I don't know what to say. I don't, because you know, it's just totally unselfish. I mean, for you to share such a time of vulnerability, and we thank you. You know, and we thank you for your work, your heart song in both books. You know, and it seems like, yeah, you know, the what's the phrase about the pen being mightier than the sword? Because indeed there had been some times in your other book that the sword would have been utilized.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know, but you chose to use the pen, and I think it has a longer lasting effect. And the sword would have only dealt with a few people in the circle, but the book now gives you an opportunity to reach the world.
Yes.
You know, in my opinion, you know, so I don't want to speak for you, but I thank you for being who you are. Sorry for all of the things that you've gone through, but thank you for having such a tenacity to go through regardless and you know,
Thank you.
and share with the world. Man, anybody else, you know, because this is...
And I promise I won't cry.
Oh, no, listen, no.
If we didn't get the tissue, I was going to use my wig. I was ready.
Now, you see, I don't know, I don't want to cross any lines of impropriety, and I don't want to give away in the book. But that was, your wig is almost another character in the book. Because you mention that oftentimes, and even in great tragedy, you have a sense of humor. You and you express that in a way, and it was like I didn't know how to feel. You know, like I'm reading something that is still yet humorous in a time when it's like I didn't know. You know, so you put me through a lot of
Different emotions.
Yeah, conflicting emotions. You know,
Your sense of humor honestly made it so much more relatable. Because I don't know if it's just like a thing that women do, but even when crying, sometimes you'll hear your favorite song and then you'll literally like mid crying just start singing your favorite song in the car while you're driving. Like you could have been like been broken up with on the phone.
Yeah.
You're crying, favorite song comes on. You're gonna sing the song, and I just felt like it just made me. It just made me feel a lot just so much more relatable to you, to the way you just were able to joke around or just say something funny. It's like, hey, there's still this. I was like, you know, you're so right.
Well, you know what? I'm going to go back to Daryn. I thank you for being here because, you know, we've always talked about, you know, various fields needing feminine energy because you had so much testosterone with me and my sons here. I sometimes feel when we talk like on certain subjects, I don't know if it's true, but I feel like we sound like, we want me, we feel good, me, you know, it's like, I think there's, you know, I don't know, it may not come across like that, so I'm so glad you're here to help us, you know, so we can see both sides of the coin, you know, better, you know, so that's it, so, but yeah, that's some amazing stuff there, so, but
my question is, I guess in terms of direction, because it is a wonderful children's story, but why did you choose to make it so? When you could have explained it the same way you did your other book, right?
Interesting.
I did that because I want parents and I want children who are athletes or just any child to know like the early detection is possible. Like I want you to be able to read this book and say, hey, who's Julian? What? And like questions. I want you to have questions. So for me, making the book was more so I wanted to give to my son with this book, but I wanted to help other people, especially children, because I know when I was a child, I didn't like going to the doctors. So
guilty.
And there are parents, and I hate to say this, that are not as active as they should be in their child's life. If I wasn't as active as I am in my son's life, there's a possibility he wouldn't be here today.
Absolutely.
So that's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
I want to prove a point with why we go to the doctors.
Wow, that's very good.
Yeah, it definitely helps broach that delicate subject when you don't expect it. It's like open heart surgery is a pretty big.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's a scale, if anyone can even put it on there, but it's a very big surgery to have, especially at a young age.
Yes.
Right. So no one may not even expect it. And if you have to go through it even younger, I appreciate that this book's out there as a narrative that says, oh, it can happen to anyone, right? But this is a way that people get through it at the very least, even at that age. So thank you.
So in terms of that, Julian is doing fine. Or can you a little bit more?
So he is doing really, really good. He had his stress test in January, and as I've said before, I was watching him run, and all I was thinking about was some chicken wings. And I said, "Look at this boy over there, just sweating. I'm over here sweating, thinking about food." But I was so impressed because he was really he was going fast, and the stress test is not easy. He was on a treadmill running at top speed for 21 minutes, no breaks. They want to check your heart and see how good it's going.
Yeah.
And he was killing it, and I'm like, this kid is like, but he had started working out, and then he went back to track, and he got his team to sectionals.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Okay.
When I tell you he's fast,
Wait a second.
PBL.
PBL.
I'm telling.
Wait a minute. He went back to track.
He's back on track, and he is doing.
Back on track,
Yes.
back in track.
Yes.
I love that.
See, you got these cliffhangers. At least the way I read it, there was a cliffhanger. That wasn't in the book, right? Am I
No.
Yeah, because maybe maybe
Oh yes,
Now
it
it
is.
is a sequel.
No, go ahead. Because
So it is because he looks out to the crowd, and well, I did a couple like changes to the book, but so yeah, it is. If it wasn't there, it is there now.
No,
so
but listen, I'm telling you are. I'm going to say you're the queen of the cliffhanger. I'm like, what is going on? But that is such a wonderful thing. So to our parents out there, there is hope out there. There is ability for you to move forward with your children, and and young people. If you happen to be watching this episode, going to the doctor is important, and so this is what she wants you. So let your parents know that maybe we need to do a checkup if we can. So that's a wonderful message. I've never saw a children's book that kind of talks to the children to say, let your parents know about going to the doctor. Man, so all right, so we're looking for a sequel to the first Silent Cries, Military Wife. We're looking for that. What are other books? Do you have any other books that you would? Do you ever think about writing a novel?
I think about a lot of books that I want to write. I don't know if I want to talk about them right now.
Oh, okay.
It might be a little too spicy.
Oh.
I want to be a person that writes about everything. I like to bring up various topics.
Hey.
I mean, life is
Thank you so much.
interesting.
Thank you so much.
I live an interesting life.
You're here first.
I'm going to say it again. Harold. That's all I'm saying. I'm just, whoosh. And there you go. Excellent writing all the way through. Through. Yeah, that's fantastic. Let's see. We are just filled with. Daryn is here. We got Gabrielle here. We got Nels out here. Nels, make some noise out there. The voice of the future. You also have a special guest that came with you. Who came with you?
Oh, my manager, Keisha Renee. She is here, and she is amazing.
Make some noise out there. All right, Keisha Renee. And of course, we have the famous Paul Rudnick out there. I don't know how he just walks by.
That was a quick drive.
If you ever get a chance to come to the studio, he just walked right by us.
Drive by.
Drive by wave, That was great. And of course, we have the wonderful Daryn Curry with us, and we thank you. How do you think she did in filling in for Lexington?
Did y'all see me do this? I was ready to clap as soon as you said her name. Yes, good energy.
And Lexington, if you're watching this episode, we miss you so much. We can't wait for you to come on back.
Tell Yogi I said hi.
Oh yes, yeah. He's out there with the bears. and out into
Bears.
The Bears. And we get you see. I appreciate it. But you see, I'm doing better now, right? I'm doing better. We're building up our technology. If you see that in front of, I'll just tell them. I don't care. We have a countdown clock now because. I was always. I'm sorry. No, I'm telling you. Should I not tell everything? I just tell everything.
We also have headphones and a laptop.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. No, but you know what it is? Because I always during the show I go, "How much time we got?" And then they would all do different faces of like, just be quiet. So now we got something I can see. But we do, in the spirit of Lexington Malcolm Fields, we do have to present you with a
hard-hitting question.
Hard-hitting question.
Yes. So
you know this question as well.
Oh, yes, I do.
Oh, can you do me a favor? Can you, because Lexington's here, would you mind dramatically move your glasses or move your glasses and look serious? There you go. Because that Lexington would take off his glasses.
if you haven't seen any one of our episodes before, it's not to be alarming in any kind of way, but if you do answer this correctly, you're in the clear. If not, then we're gonna have to delete all of your social media.
Yeah, that's
they're deleted.
Yeah.
We have people on the inside, don't worry about it. So it's only if you answer it wrong.
I just cheat on my test and I use the I don't think I'm going to answer this correct.
Okay. Because you're the older brother, why don't you pose the question?
So the question is, do you like waffles?
Ooh, I'm sorry, I started sweating underneath my head. I was scared. Do I like what? Wait, I gotta answer this correct?
That's right.
I love them.
That's it! She likes waffles too.
And that's proof because you're a wonderful person. So apparently the science is out. I haven't seen it. I haven't read it. That if you are a wonderful person, you like waffles, right? He tells me not to look it up. I have looked it up several times. Still can't find the facts.
I can't find it.
I will find it.
Okay. If you ever see, you have to support Lexington's position because you're in this chair.
Yes.
So,
I even answered the question on the website myself when I first went on.
Now, question for you: working for Skinny Pancakes, how do you like waffles?
Ooh.
I don't work for Skinny Pancakes anymore.
That's the answer. Yeah.
I do like waffles. I love Belgian waffles.
That's it.
I like my mom's specifically though.
Mm.
She also just makes anything perfect.
Okay, so give me just because Lexington's not here and you're in that chair. Why do we believe, or why does you believe that waffles make a person a better person by just eating waffles? What's the science?
Well, waffles, when you eat waffles, all you can do is just experience nostalgia. When you're a kid, you always had waffles. No matter the income or like what your household was, there was Eggo's waffles. Your mom was making batter to put into the Belgian waffle maker. No matter, every single time you eat waffles, you will have a hint of nostalgia and joy, and it's sweet, and it's like a pastry to start your day with little cream or fruits or whatever you want, syrup. It's just a nostalgic food that will bring joy for the rest of the day.
Wow!
That's a science right there.
Wow!
Fantastic.
I'm hungry because of you.
Oh, there's so much passion.
Yeah.
Okay, you did answer correctly.
I can't follow that. That is way too good.
I don't know if I want to follow that because I'm not sure if I believe this. I know.
That's the science behind it.
Yeah.
Nostalgia.
Listen, I love it.
All right, I'm still standing on the side of people who like pancakes and French toast. Do not be dismayed. I'm still confused too. I still think you guys are good as well. But, apparently there's a distinction. I don't know. What do I know? All right. So, well, your social media history is now saved because you're a person that loves waffles. So we thank you for loving waffles. But I would like to say that I think just by virtue of your books and how you presented yourself here that I can tell that you're a good person, regardless of waffles or not. Waffles just layered it up higher. Yeah, that's it. Listen. So, are there any other things that you'd like to say? Because we got a few more minutes. We're gonna give you a couple more questions in here, But we want to make sure we leave room for you to say some things that are events that you might be able to be that you're doing or places that you might be able to be seen. Because actually, I saw you on YouTube you did a interview with her.
Sorry.
No, so there was a young lady by the name of Tasha, I believe it was. And you did an interview. Did you do an interview? I'm hoping I'm looking at it. Did you do an interview for some young lady?
I'm trying to think.
Okay,
There
well,
was a video from like 12 years ago.
okay, all right.
Yeah, then that might be it.
Yeah.
I don't
Am
know.
I right?
Name,
I got my
Myla
thinking
Silence
cap.
on it.
Molly, and that was one talking about the book or something like that too. Yeah, so you got
Wow.
you've got some media.
That
Yeah.
was
You
like
got some
12 or
media
14 years
presence.
ago.
Yeah.
Thank you, because I didn't even know.
Oh, no.
I don't know what to look today, tomorrow. I don't know.
That's funny.
Ooh, 12 years ago. Thank you for reminding me.
That's wonderful. I think that's wonderful that you have a footprint in these internets, that so much so that you might even forget what you've done.
Yeah.
Would you mind dropping some of your tags right now so people know how to follow you?
Yes.
Oh yeah. So you can follow me on Instagram at Gabrielle Beyond Words, and please follow me because I need my new followers. Yeah, that's my main page. Just a little bit more about me. So I am going to be doing a book release. We do not have the date, but Keisha is working on that. And then there are some more upcoming events that we'll be doing, but they're still in the works. So, but she has been on top of it, and I love it. She's keeping me busy. Booked and busy.
Let's make some noise for
Yes.
Keisha.
You got it. Yes, Keisha.
All right.
Very good. Well, listen, we wish you the best in everything. Not exactly sure how to compliment you, because it's like through your tragedies and challenges, you've made some wonderful books. So I don't wish you more books of that nature if you have to endure that. However, I thank you so much for being so vulnerable to the public and allowing people to see themselves through you and their triumphs that they could have because of you, that they can, act likewise.
Thank you. You guys have left me speechless. I don't even know what to say. Y'all are good.
Same for your narrative.
Yeah.
Please, once again, give a chance to buy The Silent Cries of a Military Wife and The Heart of a Champion, Adrian's story.
Julian story. No, you're fine.
Well, guess what? His name almost was Adrian.
You're
Thinking into the future.
Yeah, look at that. Nice psychic
Wow.
there.
Yeah.
All right, and also we got a couple of minutes left, and we want to give another hand to Miss Daryn Curry.
Oh, thank you.
All right, so real quick,
All right.
how did you like your first time being in the guest host chair?
Oh, I very much enjoyed it. I love talking to you. I love meeting you beforehand when we spoke. I think you're a really cool person, and I wanted to ask you questions. I've been every second I've been reading your books, and I just love them, and I really felt you through it. So I just really wanted to meet you in general.
I appreciate it.
Can I tell you? I'm gonna be very honest with you. Read it in one night. I just read it. I got it. When did I get it?
You got it Friday.
Got it.
Yeah, Friday.
Friday, and then I read it the next day at work. Read it, and not at work. I read it when I had an opportunity at free time, because I'm a faithful worker. Glad I cleaned that up.
Nels can edit it. I read it at the institution. Let's throw it
a whole nother voice there.
Yeah.
All right. Well, listen. We once again we thank you for being here, Gabrielle. I'm gonna get the Basile. I did Gabrielle Basile. I'm so sorry. It's like the first day with the new lips. Gabrielle Basile. We thank you so much for being who you are. We thank you for being here on various fields. I'm gonna give you the last word before we say our goodbyes. And anything else you want to say?
Well, I just want to say thank you guys for having me. You guys were amazing. Again, the energy in the room was felt. I've never felt more at peace. Amazing podcast, and I look forward to liking, following, and subscribing.
Yeah, I like that. That's right. And you guys do likewise. And of course, to our son, our brother, our friend, Lexington Malcolm Fields, we miss you. We love you to the moon and back. Trey, love you to the moon. And Daryn, my goodness, you've become the daughter I never had on camera here, and I thank you for being here. And so I appreciate that, Daryn Curry, for being here. And we want to thank all of you for being here on various fields. A lot of things are happening here for us, and we'd like you to come on back and being a part of the various fields family. And so we thank you all for being here. And
We'll catch you on the next one.
catch you on the next one. Take care.